with Kentucky coming into town. They beat Kentucky in Lexington at Kroger Field last year with Mike Wright.
No, it was here in Nashville.
No, it was not. It was in Lexington.
Was it in Lexington?
It was in Lexington. Connor?
It was in Lexington.
Oh, okay.
Yes. They go back and forth. So they're playing here in Nashville tomorrow. I don't like this matchup for Vandy. I don't. Okay, and again, I'm a Louisville fan. I don't like Kentucky. I would love to see Vanderbilt beat them. But here's why I don't like Vandy in tomorrow's matchup, because Kentucky's strength of their team is their defense. They got a really solid defense, and the weakness of Vandy is one, they're prone to turning the ball over, and they've turned the ball over against teams that don't nearly have as good of a defense as Kentucky does. And also, quarterback Devin Leary, the transfer from North Carolina State that Kentucky has, I feel like him going up against Vanderbilt's defense and using the athletes that Kentucky has, the way Vanderbilt's defense has been tackling, I'm sorry. It's got to get fixed.
Yeah, I saw it firsthand in week 1, and it was atrocious.
If they're letting up 40 points to UNLV, and again, that quarterback for UNLV played, they played Michigan, obviously. He didn't look good there. But he played another really small school. I think it was an FCS school. He didn't even throw for 100 yards. He threw for 200 yards on Vandy. This defense has to step up, and it has to be better. And for me, I'm just not giving them a chance against Kentucky because they haven't showed me they can beat those mid-level FBS schools.
Right. And it's going to be difficult because right after that they play Mizzou, then they have Florida, then they got Georgia, then Ole Miss and Auburn. It just, I think, piles up for them. And look, this could be, and this is far-fetched to say, but it's a lot later in the season.
Yeah.
I wonder what Tennessee looks like. It'll be the last game of the year. Vanderbilt versus Tennessee in Knoxville.
That could make the whole season.
I wonder what that's going to look like.
I'm not going to go there yet.
Anyway,
that would be pretty crazy.
But my last thought is Clark Lee, I think the biggest thing I got from him is they're not happy with the loss. They understand the pain from the loss. And also, too, he's challenging A.J. Swan, their starting quarterback, to go through his progressions a little bit more, and they want him to feel more comfortable. And so for Kentucky's sake, they want to make him as uncomfortable at home as possible. I think he does have some swagger to his game, to be honest with you. However, if he reads his plays the right way against Kentucky, don't be surprised if he gets in a rhythm. I'm not saying that they're going to win the game outright, but don't be surprised if they get cooking at some point because he's got talented. I think his wideouts are pretty talented, honestly.
They are. London Humphreys, the guy that I was raving about before the season. I mean, this kid has been showing out.
You were watching him in high school.
3 touchdowns. Yeah, I watched him at CPA.
Yep.
I mean, I knew he was really good because he was going up against that Brentwood Academy team, and they were inserting 3 different quarterbacks in that game, and he was catching balls from all of them. I mean, it was spectacular. He was the one guy carrying that team because really Brentwood Academy was dominating that game. Either way, him and Will Shepherd, again, if they get loose, yes, I could see them making some plays, but when you're not even completing 50% of your passes against
tough.
UNLV, listen, Swan has got to step up. I was a believer in A.J. Swan going into this year. I was believing the hype. Clark Lee was coming out. They were inserting him in as a freshman in and out of the lineup. I saw the potential there, and I thought a full offseason of him being the guy for Vandy would change things. But it seems as if for the Vols and Vandy, both of their quarterbacks coming into the season have been a little bit of a disappointment. But coming up next, we are going to get into some of the big slates because finally we are out of those first 3 weeks of college football where all the powerhouses are playing these weak scrub warm-up games. We are finally getting into the thick of it. We are going to break down some of the biggest matchups coming up on college football tomorrow, some of the biggest headlines. Deion Sanders, Colorado. Nick Saban, is the dynasty over? You're listening to Riddle in the Reporter here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Insightful discussion.
When we talk about the person that these players are.
3 goals scored in the first 5 minutes.
He wants to be the starter, day one.
Mixed with spirited debate.
Okay, but
Derek, let's put Pastor Derek. They are Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. With Caroline Fenton, Willie Donick, and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason.
We got the whole thing covered. We got it all covered.
Here.
Weekdays at 11 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Love wings but think they're not spicy enough? Twin Peaks has a new wing sauce just for you. Have your wings sauced and tossed in the new Hot as F sauce. Their hottest wing sauce yet. Can you handle the heat? Twin Peaks in Cool Springs and Madison.
Real estate investors, get ready for an incredible opportunity. D&M Development is thrilled to announce the Phase 1 presale of 16 non-owner occupied short-term rentals in Nashville's exclusive resort-style community, the New Cumberland. Nestled between Germantown and East Nashville, this exceptional location offers stunning views of the city and the Cumberland River. Each unit features spacious kitchens, 4 bedrooms, and 4 baths, providing the ultimate luxury experience for your guests. Resort-style pools and a wide range of amenities. Don't miss out on this exclusive investment chance. Visit thenewcumberland.com for more information and secure your spot in this extraordinary community.
I've been taking Nutrafol for about a year.
I've been taking Nutrafol just over 4.5 years.
My hair was thinning.
I just gave birth. I was under a lot of stress.
I like Nutrafol because it's drug-free and the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement.
My hair feels thicker,
stronger.
The breakage is less.
Nutrafol has taken me back to the hair I was meant to have.
Join the 1 million people growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Tired of wasting your money on testosterone booster products that just don't work? We don't blame you. That's why Nugenix Total T lets you try before you buy. Just text ENERGY to 369-369 to claim your complimentary sample. Why have millions of men already trusted Nugenix for a man-boosting increase in their testosterone levels? Well, nothing else is like it. It contains testofen, a patented key ingredient shown to work. Nugenix Total T boosts free and total testosterone levels to help you feel better at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand and #1 at GNC and #1 at Walmart. But don't take our word for it. Try before you buy. If it works, keep using it. If not, keep the sample. You've got nothing to lose, but you could gain energy, muscle, drive, even more passion. Text ENERGY to 369-369. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ENERGY to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Vanderbilt football lives here.
This Saturday, it's Vanderbilt and Kentucky from First Bank Stadium. Coverage starts at 9:30 a.m. Kickoff at 11.
Your home for the Commodores is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Riddle and the Reporter on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Tune into 102.5 and 106.3 The Game tomorrow for Vanderbilt football. The Commodores will kick off at 11 a.m. at home against Kentucky with pregame beginning at 9:30. You can hear all the coverage on the 102.5 The Game app and at thegamenashville.com. Welcome into Riddle and the Reporter. And not only is Vanderbilt having a huge matchup here in Nashville, but there is a whole slate of good college football games because finally we're starting to get into conference play. We're starting to see, the big time programs, move past these weak tune-up, warm-up games, and now we're starting to get really in the thick of college football. So I want to start with this one because you know me. I think I don't think I'm out of the realm of saying I was the first person on this station to be on the Colorado bandwagon. Look, I've been on the Colorado bandwagon since Deion Sanders got hired. I have proof, and they got a big test.
I mean, did he send you his sunglasses? Because that might be more proof.
No, but I have a tweet. I have a tweet from February that says Colorado wins 8 games this year, and Shadur Sanders will be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft.
Okay.
I said that.
I thought Shadur would be a first-round selection in the draft.
No, I said top 10 pick.
Okay.
And again, he might stay at Colorado because of all the NIL money.
Did you see this week that Deion said, my boys' butts are staying here for another year? I don't know if you saw that or not. But
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, whatever he wants to do, he can do whatever he wants. If he doesn't like the teams that are picking in the top 10 this year, he wants to wait till next year, then by all means.
And some people on our station want to see him as the Titans coach.
Who, Deion Sanders?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Caroline. I mean, I wouldn't have said it like that, but yeah, Caroline.
Oh, my goodness. Connor, don't ever do that again.
Caroline. Let's not sound like outcast wannabes.
Either way, what do we think about this Colorado-Oregon game? Because this also might be in the price that parlay game coming up later. But Colorado is 21.5-point underdogs in this game.
It is going to be something we draw in more than likely, and I would love to hear on our text line as well. So let us know what you would think. But look. This is an intriguing matchup. This could be a huge, monumental upset of the season, I think, all around college football. And I think it's getting primetime television as well, no pun intended, for Deion Sanders. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a later game, but it's going to be a good one. And I want to see what the uniform combo looks like, too, because Oregon always is fire with their combinations.
Colorado needs to bring back those uniforms they wore at TCU. Those were icy, man.
Did you guys see
those were icy.
Did you guys see what Oregon is wearing cleat-wise?
No.
They are wearing Nike cleats, but they are heat activated, so when the sun hits them, they change colors.
Interesting. I mean, Oregon. The owner of Nike is an Oregon alumni, so we all know that they get all the.
So
best
what
stuff.
I'm hearing is they have Hot Wheels on their feet this weekend. Okay,
Yeah, probably.
Cool. There you go.
Or like those pencils that change color when you rub them. You know.
Oh yeah.
That's what they put on their cleats.
The good
apparently.
old days of elementary.
But that doesn't win football games. Here's what I want to get into. I think Colorado covers in this game. Hands down, easy, no problem. I've been called crazy for saying that. Everybody thinks they're going to get blown out.
I don't think it's as outlandish as you think. I mean, on the morning show today, I talked about that too, and I thought they were telling me I was crazy. So, I mean, look, I think we're in our right mind because there's any chance is possible with Deion. That's what I've been just on the entire time.
That, and I like Deion as an underdog. When he's been a heavy favorite, obviously we saw that with Colorado State. You know, they kind of slacked a little bit, but – you know, seeing him here, I'd like him as an underdog, and I think this is going to be within a touchdown of a game. Again, they may lose. Eugene's a tough place to play. They may lose, but I like Colorado to cover that spread. Okay, some other games going on. Ole Miss at Alabama. I think this one is, I think this one is really interesting, and I think Ole Miss has a really good shot to go in there and win. Listen, Alabama's quarterback. Controversy, you know, Jalen Milroe, is he the guy? He's not the guy. He's back. He's now back as the starting quarterback. I don't think they have a clue.
I don't know. I think Nick Saban probably was eating his oatmeal cream pies one morning and thought that he just needed to announce that Jalen Milroe was the starting quarterback all over again. And typically you see college coaches do that once a year, maybe twice. But look, this is interesting, and Alabama is kind of in their dire straits. And so I'm wondering what it's going to look like against Lane and, you know, his band. So I'm interested to see what Lane's approach is to playing Alabama now. And so he's had success previously. So can they get the win? That's the big question. So
yeah, no, and I think that, you know, Nick Saban and his legacy this season is going to have a lot because personally I'm not going to say the dynasty is over until next year when they bring in a new batch of kids. Let's see where the quarterback position for them is after that. But clearly with NIL and the transfer portal, other programs have caught up. And we're seeing this with Clemson. We're seeing it with Bama. I don't think Ohio State is as stout as they have been in years past. I think, to be honest with you, as much as we've been complaining about this, I think it's been leveling out college football entirely.
I think so. I think that's what's kind of helped this transfer portal talk and also the conference realignment conversation. So we'll see what it kind of looks like around the grand scheme of things, Junie. And I think for the way that the SEC looks, I mean, Georgia's the number one dog right now. Bulldogs go, them, and whatnot. But I think for how they've approached the last few seasons, I think Kirby Smart has done a fabulous job. And so I think he's challenging everybody else to, hey, get on my level now. And I think that some other coaches are seeing that now. And Nick Saban's kind of been found out, I think.
Some other big games. Auburn's going to Texas A&M. That has huge implications on Jimbo Fisher and maybe his job security going forward. Ohio State takes a trip to South Bend to take on Notre Dame and Sam Hartman. I think that's going to be an excellent game, really tight one as well. And then the old ACC rivalry that we've seen the last couple years, Florida State travels to Clemson. Clemson having a down year, but, Florida State struggled against Boston College. Just a lot of good college football matchups coming up, and some of which we are going to be picking in our Price That Parlay game coming up at 7:15. But kicking off hour number 2, we kicked off the show this way. The Preds kicked off their training camp this week. I was there doing the broadcast. Wasn't really paying attention to practice, but you were there covering it in the press conference, talking to coaches, players, Barry Trotz. You're talking to everybody. We are going to get Nick Keyser's latest with the Nashville Predators coming up next. Hour number 2 of Riddle and the Reporter. Junie Riddle, Nick Keyser here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Green right, Fox 2 run, double K. He takes you inside the huddle through the eyes of a quarterback. Wide 85, tight. Catch ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck every Tuesday at noon as he breaks down the big stories in the NFL.
Buffalo, maybe Miami.
And with the Tennessee Titans.
The Titans might be like, we're interested in a 1-year, $1 million contract.
Tim Hasselbeck is on Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
The two most sought-after, most prestigious names in bridal jewelry come together for one epic event this weekend at Genesis Diamonds.
Tacori and Viraggio, the world's premier designers, are showing off their entire collections. All the latest designs, many showcased for the first time ever, with up to $5,000 in savings.
Everyone loves Tacori, meticulously crafted by master artisans in their California design studio. Discover the hidden details and exceptional quality that sets Tacori apart. There's always more than meets the eye with Tacori. Come explore the entire Tacori collection, including all new Tacori fine jewelry, earrings, bracelets, eternity bands, pendants, and more.
If you're engagement ring shopping, this is a once-a-year event you can't miss. Other jewelers aren't even allowed to carry these iconic American-made brands.
Also for this event, Genesis is showcasing an expanded selection of GIA-certified diamonds in all shapes and sizes.
Come join us and take advantage of special incentives, zero-interest financing, and as much as $5,000 in savings. This Friday through Sunday, only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
When you own a business, it's like another member of your family. And success takes time. It requires money, attention, and tools to help it grow. At F&M Bank, we'll treat your business like family, building trust and responding quickly when you need us. No matter your business goals, you can reach them easier when you have a banking relationship that supports you, tools to conveniently manage your money coming in and going out, and expertise to make your business better. Bank your business at F&M Bank. myfmbank.com. Banking made easy on purpose. Member FDIC.
When Smashville wants to rock.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Looking to the sky to save it, looking for a sign of life, 'cause it's too cold for you here.
We are Nashville's rock station. 102.9 The Buzz. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Ross Chastain will be first to finish in the Ally 500 at Nashville Super Speedway.
Nashville's exclusive home for NASCAR. 102.5 and 106.3.
Checkered flag is in the air. Man, this is a win in the cup race.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Discussion on the big topics in sports. This is Riddle and the Reporter with Junie Riddle and Nick Keyser on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hour number 2 of Riddle and the Reporter. Junie Riddle, Nick Keyser here live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. You can also watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, live every single day. Also, join Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Derek Mason at Twin Peaks in Cool Springs this Sunday from 9:30 to 11:30 for our NFL pregame show. They'll break down the Titans' Week 3 road matchup against the Browns and give you the latest updates for before the game. Our NFL pregame show is presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment and The Beast Unleashed. All right, Geezer, you are called the reporter for a reason.
This one reason, usually.
And you report on the Nashville Predators. You were there. You were in the press conference. You were talking to players. You got some interviews in. What is the latest with the team, and what is some inside information that you got today?
Well, the first thing that I want to toss out there, because this is usually how coaches address press conferences if there are any such things available, Juuso Parssinen is day-to-day with a lower body injury, as is Adam Wilsby, and then Nolan Burke is a prospect that is an injured participant right now. So if anyone has any questions on that, there's not much else to it other than the status that they have. They are day-to-day. And Andrew Brunette said this afternoon that he is hopeful that they will be ready tomorrow or here in the next few days. It's not too serious. There's not much to read into here. So, but overall, I want to start here. The biggest thing for me today, getting there, was it was time for them to do a scrimmage. And so that's when you can start taking an early glance at what combinations Andrew Brunette likes. And he told us on Monday he wanted to experiment with this. And so the best way that I was reading that today was, here's some of the scrimmage lines that I found. You had Forsberg and O'Reilly together a lot of the time. You had Trennan and Navrin Mutter playing a lot together. Cal O'Reilly, a draft pick from 2005 for the Predators, was also a part of this scrimmage. He was on a line with Trennan and Mutter. You also had Kiefer Sherwood on a line with Mark Jankowski and Joachim Kimmel. Kimmel has been amazing. His shot has been crazy to see come off of his stick. I mean, I'm telling you, it's fast, it's quick, it's hard. If he misses the net, you hear it around the entire rink. He's insane.
So my prediction that he is going to get called up and be in a Predators uniform by the end of the season isn't that far out of bounds.
It's not out of balance. He even makes opening night roster and then gets put down.
Ooh, really?
Because sometimes you see coaches give rookies a crack at the first 10 games or so. Say, hey, let's just give you a few games to see what you look like. Because they didn't do this. I mean, it was with Hines last year. But I think to this argument, Hines last year brought up Evangelista. He made his debut against the Penguins, against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he played one game, and that was the plan going into it. Well, guess what? He pretty much stayed with the Predators the rest of the way because he impressed.
It was that hit on Malkin, wasn't it?
Right. Well, it was actually on Crosby. Well, it was Malkin, but then Crosby actually slashed him, and he was, he had the back and forth with both of them. And so, yes, but that's one example. And so I'm just saying it's not too far-fetched that we could see that possibly happen.
So something else that I wanted to ask you about, because, again, I watch hockey and I know the basics.
Yeah.
Like, I know the game. I know the rules. I know generally what you need to do in different scenarios, stuff like that. But you've played hockey for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at this team and the way that they were playing and practicing under John Hines, what are some differences that you saw with Andrew Brunette today?
Look, hockey's a quick sport as it is, but I tell you what, the pace that the scrimmage was played in, the drills that they've been doing for the last 2 days, I think the pacing and the timing of everything is so significantly different. And I think that speaks volumes to what Trotz wants from this team. And the first indicator that was changing was the day that you and I were sitting here while our show was still on Saturdays, and we saw that Matthew Shane has been bought out. Oh, and by the way, not that long after, or I think it was before, Ryan Johansson was traded to Colorado. Those were the first telltale signs of this is going to be a different team next year. And so you're seeing that happen now. So the pacing of the drills, the way that they've gone about things, they ended practice this afternoon in the final session with one-on-one battles against the wall where you're just fighting to grab the puck or poke it away from your guy that's on the wall, and it's a tiring drill. You have to be quick on your feet. When they blow the whistle and you stop your battle, you skate around the rink twice, and then they rotate, and then the next guy will do the battle, and then he'll skate around twice. And so it's a challenging mindset you have to have for yourself. And, someone like Gus Nyquist, who's a new addition, said, I was tired, man. That was tough at the very end. And so when you hear guys say that they have been challenged and they've played in this league for a long time, well, they could be out of shape a little bit, but it's really challenging for them to keep up with this pace. And so someone like a Forsberg and a Ryan O'Reilly that are already playing together, look, it's kind of obvious that those two will play together. And they were money today. They were automatic on their plays.
I think it's clear that they are going. Ryan O'Reilly is going to be your first line center. Forsberg clearly is going to be your first line wingman. But who's going to be on the opposite side of Forsberg when you're looking at these guys? And again, maybe it's not been a pairing that they put in today.
Sure.
But based on what you have seen and maybe some things that you've heard throughout the offseason,
mm-hmm.
Who do you feel like is the best fit to be on that first line with those guys?
This might be unpopular. I really could see Gus Nyquist filling the role for now. Possibly. I'm not saying that's the fix, but I think if you heard the lineup that way, and that was the line rush at warm-ups for opening night, it wouldn't surprise me as much. But I tell you what, too. I'm a huge proponent of anyone's a Swiss Army knife in this lineup, and I'm talking about someone like a Kiefer Sherwood or Mark Jankowski or, even a Cole Smith. There are so many people that can go in and out of the lineup and up and down at the same point in time. And so the Preds are going to have a lot of balancing to do with whatever they have going on against their matchups. Who are they playing that night? What are we seeing when he plays in this situation versus the other one? And so, another person I would even throw up in the top 6 as well would be Luke Evangelista.
Yeah.
He's a young player on this team and looks comfortable. He's a good playmaker. He can find the back of the net. And another one, too, that I think he knows for himself, he lost a little bit of weight this offseason, and he feels like his game has gotten better overall, is Philip Tomasino. He's someone that's wanted to seize this next opportunity to be an elite guy, and that is someone that's relied upon. And so you could see him get a fair shot on the first line too. And I think that would be really fun, because if Ryan O'Reilly gets tossed out of a faceoff, well, look, Tomasino can go right in there. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of possibilities. And so I'm very curious what they're going to roll out here in the next few days before they go to Florida. We'll have to see who's going to start in net for those 2 games as well. And before I forget, this has been a thought over the offseason after we signed him, or after the Predators signed him. Luke Shin.
I'm glad you brought him up.
Luke Shin has been brought in to protect this lineup. More importantly, cover their ass and Roman Josi. Make sure he's protected. He skated the entire scrimmage today with Roman for the most part. Anytime Luke Shin was on the ice, and look, all the diehard people, all the people that have followed hockey for a long time, they know it may not be the most popular thing to do, and it doesn't feel like it will work. I'm telling you, I see what could be a good idea. I also see a way it can blow up in your face, because Luke Shin's not as quick to get back if you're playing the top lines. And so for him, he's a stay-at-home guy. I've seen him, get beat on the wall. And so that's going to be interesting to see how much he stays back, how much he holds himself back, because when you lay your body out on the line and the puck's behind you, you better have made a good play.
Yeah.
Roman Josi better be back there to stop it, or you better have some wingers back there to cover yourself. And so today he got beat a few times, so I'm concerned, but just know you're probably going to see Luke Shin playing with Roman Josi on opening night.
And I think that's how they're going to start out, and that was going to be my next question to you was, how do you think these pairings are going to line up? And again, I noticed that too, that Luke Shin, and we had him on with Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace earlier today, and he was with Roman Josi. And I was talking to Willie about this, and I was like, it would be really nice to kind of have Luke Shin and Josi at that top defensive pairing, and then below them have a Ryan McDonough, and then a Barry along with him, a more offensive, defensive-oriented. But the point that Willie brought up to me and that I kind of found interesting as well was, well, then there you got a solid 4, but what about that third pairing?
Yeah. So that's a good question. And today I asked a lot of the guys that play defense. You know, we had a Mark Del Gaizo, we had a Jake Livingstone, we had Spencer Stastny come up to the podium today. And that was something I asked all of them was, how challenged do you feel? Like, what do you want to showcase here as well? Those two questions. And I was encouraged by what I heard from all of them. They all know that their goal is to try to make this team out of camp. And so, and the crazy thing is they all could. And I think the best skater out of those three, I would say, and I think the fifth defenseman is Carrier, because I think Trotz likes him enough to keep him there. So you have Alex Carrier, but with who? And I think it's going to be someone like a Jake Livingstone. I think he would be fun to watch down there. And I will probably have a better answer for you maybe on Monday or Tuesday after the preseason game. But seeing these next few sessions are going to be huge too. I think they have more faith in someone like a Livingstone because he's a gritty player and he can also jump up on the play. But also, too, Spencer Stastny's a really good skater.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to make plays. And I would like to see him challenge for that spot even more aggressively the next few days. So the short-term answer is the sixth spot and that bottom pairing, it's open. And I think Carrier's job is open too, if you ask me. But I think based on what we've heard from Trotz this offseason, you're going to see Carrier in the lineup.
I think either Carrier or Fabro are going to be trade pieces before the deadline.
And another piece too. Let's not forget Jeremy Lauzon.
Yes, I completely forgot about Lauzon.
And here's the easiest thing for us to realize here on this program: the contracts, Livingstone, Stastny, Del Gaizo, all three of them can go to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
You know who can't? Carrier can't go to Milwaukee, and Lauzon can't go to Milwaukee. They'd have to go through waivers. So if you want to move off of someone, then you're going to have to put him through waivers.
Yeah.
Two of those guys. If you don't think Carrier or Lauzon are good enough to play at the NHL level, anybody else can go grab them on waivers. If that's what you want to do, you can do that, or you can try to find a trade partner. And I said on this program over the offseason, after talking to Carrier's agent, there could have been a trade. Could have been a trade, but they got that deal done. So there's that food for thought as well.
Interesting enough, a lot of new pieces coming in for the Nashville Predators as the season is set to kick off. Here in the coming weeks, it will be very interesting to see how these lines play out with all the turnover that has been with the Nashville Predators for the last year or so. But coming up next, it is the game that we are here to make some money. We are going to play Price That Parlay coming up next here on the program. Riddle and the reporter, Junior Riddle, Nick Keyser, here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
He knows the ins and outs of the Titans and isn't afraid to give his opinion.
Traylon Burks needs a massive offseason.
He's Jonathan Hutton of Outkick.
I don't see how they make a move without going to Ryan Tannehill.
Catch him every Monday at 10:30 on Chase McCabe and every Wednesday at noon on Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. Hutton is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Hey, this is the Fat Jack. We're in the middle of September. How is your gambling going? It is time to make some money, and I have got a deal for you. My once-a-month $99 weekend special. Go to FatJackSports.com, and this weekend only, it's only $99 to make money all the way through Monday. That's all the football, NFL, and college, and the free bases. Only $99. Go to FatJackSports.com. Sign up today, and in September, into profit, stop guessing, and start winning at FatJackSports.com.
If you missed the latest from Stillman and Company.
This stuff drives me crazy when everybody's like, oh, Derek's falling off. Derek's not the same. Derek's not. Did you see the screen pass against the Saints? I mean, he looked like a deer running down the sidelines. When the Titans connect on the long passes, they're connecting on the long passes because Derrick Henry is being faked the ball, and the defense is thinking, oh, God, not him. So give me a break with your Pro Football Focus and your ESPN that's sitting there trying to tell me that this offensive line's good or that Derrick's falling off. Derrick's not falling off. Derrick's the same. And I think it's miraculous, too, because I would have assumed that Derrick at some point in time, that Derrick would fall off. You know, he's 29 years old. He's carried the ball 19 billion times. He still looks like Derrick Henry to me.
Stillman and Company, weekdays from 2 to 6 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Okay, well, if you don't make it in time, I have got you covered.
Be sure to subscribe to the Riddle and the Reporter podcast on Apple, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. You're listening to Riddle and the Reporter.
The conversation is sparkling.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Ready to win big?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. It's time for Price That Parlay.
Straight cash, homie.
Here comes the money.
Now on Riddle and the Reporter.
Welcome back into Riddle and the Reporter. It is now time for the game that is going to help you win some money this weekend in college or the NFL. It's time for Price That Parlay. Are we ready to play, boys? Because we know we're crunched on time. Connor, do we have a coin?
Oh, I got a coin.
All right. You know the drill. Keezer, heads or tails?
Give me heads. Give me heads. Come on.
I know. After 2 weeks, he's finally differentiating.
Give it to me, Connor. Give it to me.
Go ahead.
It's heads.
All right. It's been heads every single time. But regardless, do you want the first pick or the first parlay?
I would like the first pick, please.
You would like the first pick. All right. With the first pick of the draft, Keezer, who are you going with?
So I've deliberated. Wow, English, that's hard. I've deliberated a couple of different things for myself. I'm going to do the Commanders plus 3.5 versus the Broncos this weekend. And I'm a little more hopeful that it could work out for me in that regard. And I know our
Commanders-Broncos was last week.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Billies.
I had a brain fart, okay? They are playing the Bills. I picked, that was the first one last week for myself. I apologize.
Too excited you got heads today, huh?
I did.
You were not ahead of the game.
When do we fire him?
Soon. Very soon. Okay, so you're going Commanders versus Bills plus 6 in Washington. Plus 6.5. Okay.
Yes.
That's your first pick. I got the next two picks.
Please.
I'm going Colts at Ravens plus 8. I just think – I don't think the Ravens are as good as people are giving them credit for. And 8 is a lot in the NFL. And I just think Gardner Minshew – when he came in last week against Houston, I mean, he was lighting it up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that follows through. I think the Colts are a little bit better than what we thought. I think they cover the 8. With my second game, I'm sticking with the NFL as well, and for much of the week, this was a pick-em.
Yep.
Both of these teams are very desperate, sitting at 0-2, but this is going to be a really good game. And I'm going to go with the better quarterback in this matchup, even though they're on the road. Give me the Chargers plus 1.5 at the Vikings in Minnesota.
Kirk is in trouble. All right. So another guy that I think has to take advantage of this game, a quarterback that ultimately needs to step it up, and that would be Mac Jones and the Patriots. Give me the Patriots at the Jets. The Patriots are minus 2.5, my friend.
Okay. Patriots are road favorites, divisional game.
Yep.
That's a tough one.
It is a little bit of a tough one.
Division underdogs at home usually kind of pull off the upset. I don't know. I mean, again, the Jets have been struggling. They need a win.
I don't have faith in Zach Wilson.
Okay. Patriots need to win, too.
All right.
Second pick.
Give me the two-tone blue, baby. You got to. The Titans at the Browns.
I like it.
The Titans are plus 3.5 in this matchup. That's straight cash, homie. Look, anyone in town here would take that. That's a great one.
All right. I got the next two picks, and I'm going to the college game on these picks. Okay, you know where I'm going with this. Give me Deion.
There we go
at Oregon, and guess what? I love the number here, plus 21. They could lose by 3 touchdowns, and I'll still cover by a half point. I think Colorado makes it close. I don't think Oregon wins by more than 10.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to beat them that bad. I like Colorado. I like Shadur Sanders. Give me the 21.5 points going to Eugene, Oregon. And then for my next pick, give me Florida State at Clemson.
That's a
minus
good one.
1.5.
Great
They're
pick.
1.5 favorites on the road at Clemson. Florida State is the much better team. I think that they should be favored more. It's just Clemson and Death Valley is just a tough place to play.
It is.
Give me the Seminoles at Clemson.
All right, so back over to the NFL for me to start one of my next 2 picks. And so I have a little bit more faith in this matchup than maybe most people do. But I'm going to take the Falcons at the Lions this week.
Ooh.
And it's a +3. Now, we do this a little bit strategically, but look, honest truth,
I don't like that.
It's a draw for one of us, but personally, I think it's one that could go well, but we'll see. We'll see.
I just think the Lions coming off their loss against the Seahawks, I think they're going to be motivated to get back in the win column. So, Falcons, they've had 2 home games, first game on the road. Lions fans, they lost their home opener. They're going to be really pushing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one there, but go ahead with your next pick.
Another tough one. And resident friend of mine, Jake Lyman, is not a huge fan of this pick whatsoever. I let him know before the program if it was available. I was thinking about it. Marshall versus Virginia Tech.
Okay, who are you going with?
Give me Marshall.
Oh, no.
Marshall is +5.5.
Not Marshall.
The Hokey Pokeys aren't dancing at all. They have been stinking up a storm this year. And Marshall,
They have been bad.
I think, has it in them to take them down. So give me Marshall over the Hokies, Virginia.
Okay, I got the next 2 picks. Notre Dame, Ohio State. I like this game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really close. Like I said, with the NIL, the transfer portal, I feel like a lot of these big-time programs, there's not a big gap between them all. And you're telling me Ohio State is a 3.5-point favorite at Notre Dame? Give me Notre Dame. I think it's a field goal game. What Sam Hartman and company have done for Notre Dame, I know I watched Sam Hartman have like 5 turnovers against my Louisville Cardinals last year, but he's been looking pretty good this year. And Notre Dame, I like them at home. It's a tough place to play. Ohio State hasn't overly impressed me. Give me Notre Dame plus 3.5.
All right.
With my second game, I think this one's going to be a little bit of a surprise, but I think the number's pretty big here. I'm going Broncos plus 6.5 at the Dolphins. Broncos have a really good defense. The Broncos, although they are 0-2, they are going to be desperate. Russell Wilson, Sean Payton, they're going to be desperate, okay? And even though they've lost, these games have been close. So I think they cover the 6.5. Again, they cut the deficit to the Commanders on a last-second Hail Mary. I like this pick. I think Russell and company, they cover the spread. 6.5 points is a lot in an NFL game, and this team has a lot to prove. Give me the Broncos.
Yeah, desperate football, and that was fun to watch last week. And talk about some desperation. I want to go down to the War Eagle country.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh.
Give me Auburn at Texas A&M.
Oh.
Give me the Tigers.
Aggies fans are in agony
8.5.
all over the place.
Jimbo, you better be ready for a good matchup, my friend. But I have a lot of faith in Auburn, and they have, I think, had a good season to this point.
Yeah.
They could jump on Texas A&M real quick here. And I think the Aggies, unless they don't put a stamp on this game early, it's an Auburn show. So give me Auburn plus the 8.5. And then my second pick here, back-to-back here, I'm a Saints fan. All right? I gave a lot of credit to how they were going to play the Titans in week 1.
Uh-huh.
But I got to go against Robbie Stanley's Packers. Give me the Saints plus 1.5.
Saints plus 1.5 in Lambeau at Green Bay after their 1-point loss against the Falcons.
Disappointing, but they've got it this week.
That's tough. Listen, Saints go 3-0 in your opinion. That's a tough one for me to swallow. I like the Packers in that matchup to bounce back just because they're at home. And they have a really good offensive line, and the Saints have played 2 teams to open up the season that do not have very good offensive line. So we will see. All right, so I got the next 2 picks. You're going to round out the draft with the final pick.
Yes.
And this is pick 14, and this is a little bit symbolic for me because there's a player that I really like that wears the number 14, all right?
Here we go.
And I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Raiders. At the Raiders. Don't call it a homer pick. I've picked against the Steelers in both week 1 and week 2. Number 14, George Pickens, had his first 100-yard game against the Cleveland Browns.
About damn time.
The Raiders' defense is one of the worst in the league. It is about time this Steelers team gets going. There's a lot of pressure. The fans were chanting to fire the offensive coordinator, which I hope they do, by the way. So I think desperation will happen, and the Steelers will go in and beat the Raiders. Steelers are getting 2.5 points. Give me the Steelers plus 2.5. And for my final pick of Price That Parlay, this team is 0-2. This team is a perennial Super Bowl contender, and they can't afford to go 0-3, and they got a primetime game at home. Give me the Bengals minus 2.5 against the Rams in Cincinnati on one of the Monday Night Football games.
Yeah, I don't think Joe Burrow is playing in this game, and you still have faith in them?
I think he does end up playing.
I don't know. Jamar Chase doesn't think so.
Jamar Chase doesn't think so?
Mm-mm.
Well, then I'm screwed. Because he's not playing, they're not winning this game.
Oh,
but I think he's gonna gut it out. Again, you know how these players are. They're gonna, send out a little information trying to fake out the other team.
We'll see.
I think Joe Burrow plays.
All right. And our final pick, our 16th pick of Price That Parlay this week, courtesy of me, is the Eagles at the Bucks.
Oh, so we're both ending with Monday Night Football games.
We are. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's have fun with that.
All
So
right.
Eagles at Bucks. The Eagles are minus 4.5 in this matchup. I like the Eagles. So lots of Kelsey drama going on lately too. So I am going with a Kelsey brother on Monday Night Football.
Okay, all 16 picks are in. Coming up next, our producer Connor is going to draw 4 four-leg parlays randomly between both Nick Keyser and myself's picks, and we are going to choose between the $5, the $10, the $15, or the $20. This is Price That Parlay here on Riddle and the Reporter on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Every day we are live and local. You need to give Ryan Tannehill a 2-year extension.
There haven't been too many coaching changes for the Predators.
And your source for Nashville sports.
I think that's what the Titans need.
Players who can score.
We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Jared from my friends at Hiller. It's about to start getting cooler, and it's time to start thinking about your heating system. You do not want to experience breakdowns when that first temperature drop happens, so it's time to get your heating tune-up taken care of. Luckily, happy half-off month at Hiller. Tune-ups are 50% off. This month, Hiller is making it easier than ever to tackle necessary home replacements by giving you 50% off select add-on items. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, proud supporters of the Preds, the Vols, and Vandy. Hiller, call the Happy Face Truck today.
Vanderbilt Commodore fans, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, along with 94.9 The Fan, is your new home for broadcast of games and the Commodore Hour on Monday evenings. Catch all the action for football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball all season long. Go Doors!
If you missed the latest from Robbie and Rex Road.
And I think about Tennessee, Bama last year, and obviously both teams are very different at quarterback, but Tennessee's got a chance to go down there and win that game.
Hey, Shedeur Sanders looked pretty good again on Saturday.
He's
slinging
so
it around.
Fun to watch. And it's not perfect, but he is so fun to watch. His drifting left at some of the passes he throws, and the touch he puts on some of those passes. There's another guy, by the way, who's eligible for the draft this year and is a really interesting prospect. I mean,
Mel Kiper moved him up to the number 3 quarterback in his prospect list.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing with him is, I know some people think, like, Kaharski's like,
What are you, 5'10", 5'11"? How tall is he?
I'm like, no, he's listed at 6'2". I don't know. Is that a lie?
I have no idea.
Robbie and Rex Road, weekdays from 6 to 9 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. He breaks down every game.
The players are still going to be fine.
And knows the ins and outs of the two-tone blue.
They deal with their own position coaches.
He is ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter Teron Davenport.
It's clear what he's doing.
TD joins every Monday at 1, Thursdays at 3, Friday mornings at 8, and anytime on the Talkin' with TD podcast.
I think that's really cool how he could show both sides.
TD is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Riddle and the Reporter on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Ready to win big?
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
It's time for Price That Parlay.
Straight cash, homie.
Here comes the money.
Now on Riddle and the Reporter.
Tune in to 102.5 and 106.3 The Game tomorrow at 6 p.m. for our college football game of the week, Arkansas versus LSU, presented by Twin Peaks. Take your tailgate to Twin Peaks for scenic views of all the hottest college football games across the country. And also tune in to 93.3 Classic Hits tomorrow for MTSU football. The Blue Raiders kick off at 6 p.m. at home against Colorado State. Beginning at 5 p.m., you can hear all the coverage on the 93.3 Classic Hits and the 93.3 ClassicHits.com. All right. The picks have been made. Picks 1 through 16 in the Price That Parlay draft. And now, Connor, you will now draft. Since Keezer got the first pick of the draft, I will get the first parlay. The first 4 picks, I get to choose between $5, $10, $15, and $20 selection. So with the first parlay, Connor, please go ahead.
Okay, let's begin. Junie, your first pick will be the A-Town down Atlanta Falcons, +3.
Oh my! The one pick I didn't want. Your pick that I didn't want.
Number 2 will be
Off
the
to a great start.
two-tone blue Titans, +3.5. Number 3 will be Florida State, -4.5.
All right, we're looking a little bit better.
And number 4 will be Keezer's Saints, +1.
Gosh. You got to be kidding me. I get two of my better picks. And then I get your 2 awful NFL picks.
What a blender.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I hands down I'm going 5. I'm not even going to argue this. I'm going 5 for this reason. And Connor, you put it in now cuz I know you take forever. We went through this training. Either way.
Ouch.
Falcons and Saints, I just no, they're not both going to be 3-0. They're not. There's no way this parlay hits. There's no way. There's no way the Falcons and Saints both start 3-0. It's just not going to happen. Titans and Florida State, I like those. Those are great. Titans +3 in an NFL game. That hook, I think, is going to save us. Florida State -1.5 at Clemson. Florida State's a much better team. But I'm going $5 purely because I have no confidence in your picks, Nick Keezer.
Okay.
I have none.
That's fine.
None. Connor, do you have the odds in the payout now?
I do have the odds in the payout now.
All right, what is it?
All right, your odds are +1201, and your winnings would be $60.06.
Ain't even worth it. Ain't even worth it.
Couldn't even win the lottery with
Keezer,
all 6s there, man.
You're lucky that I took your two of your worst picks.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to get all my great ones.
Maybe so.
All right,
I guess
Connor,
we'll find out.
Let's draw the next 4 for Nick's first parlay.
Keezer, do you want to sing a little Fly Eagles Fly for me? Because you got the Eagles minus the 4.5.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
That was not the rhythm, but okay. The Pats minus the 2.5 will be your number 2 pick.
Okay.
The 0-2 Chargers plus 1.5 will be the next pick. And your 4th pick.
Oh, you don't like that one?
The Fighting Irish plus the 3.5.
Got him with the hook. Got him with the hook.
Oh, my gosh.
How are you feeling about this one, Nick? Give him some time to put it in. How are you feeling about this parlay?
I know. So, just to play it safe for myself, you go 5, I'll go 10 here. I don't have as much confidence. I think it's a good middle ground for me. And also, it will leave the 20 and the 15 open for either of us. And so, look, I think it's a good play. So, I'll do the $10 one. And Quite frankly, I know my tune was not great with the Fly Eagles Fly. I could care less. We had Roger McCreary on, and he did his own thing this week, so.
He sounded phenomenal.
I
Okay,
don't know.
he's going with the $10 parlay. You got enough time?
I
got
have
it?
had enough time.
All
I
right,
assume
look
you
at
could go
that.
10. Okay. The odds will be 11.02, and your winnings would be 110.29.
Okay, I'll take that.
Not bad.
I really will.
And honestly, I kind of like that parlay because for me, Eagles, I think that hits. Chargers and Notre Dame were my pick, so I think those hit. And then also Pats -2. That's the toss up. That's the one that I'm not so certain about. So either way, I think I might have won the 15 on that one. But you're going 10, you're going conservative. You give me the option to go big or go home.
Right.
So I got the boo-boo parlay to begin. Let's get the next 4 in here and see where I'm
Come
at
on,
for this
Connor.
next one.
The boo-boo parlay. I love it. All right, Junie, number
What
1.
happened to my music?
We have been ad blocked.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, if you want to hear Kroger's saving and spendings ads.
Forget it. All right, my next 4 picks, what are they?
All right, number 1, you're going to get War Eagle, the Auburn Tigers, plus the 8.5.
I can see it. Probably wouldn't have picked it, but I can see it.
Number 2, you're going to get another Tiger, the Bengals, -2.5.
My pick, good one.
Number 3, you're going to get my boy Brandon back here's Commanders, plus 6.5.
Okay, I like that as well. Home dogs, and there's going to be weather coming in. There's some severe weather. I think that favors the Commanders, a running team, whereas the Bills are heavy on the pass. I like Commanders plus 6.5 a lot.
And finally, we are Marshall, plus 5.5.
Come on. You don't like that?
Dude, Marshall was Western's rival. You know this.
I know.
It was like the something moonshine rivalry. I can't remember what it was.
It was called the Moonshine Throwdown.
Moonshine Throwdown, but then they went and moved conferences.
Yeah,
so
they did.
Now I have beef with Marshall.
Whatever.
I loved that rivalry in college.
Just
I
wait
loved
till next
it. It was
week.
great.
Just wait till next week.
But I think I do like Marshall's team though, and they're going up against Virginia Tech, which they are not very good.
Yeah, they've been struggling. I'm telling you.
Commanders I like. Bengals I like. Auburn is up in the air. You know what? I feel like because the only choices I have left are the $20 parlay and the $15 parlay. I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna go big on I'm gonna go $20, and here's why. I love Commanders and I love Bengals. I think both of these teams are desperate. I think Joe Burrow's going to play. I think Jamar Chase is full of it. I mean, in the beginning of the season, he said, "Oh, we don't need Joe Burrow until about week 5." Blah blah blah. Guess what? Joe Burrow started week 1. He was fine.
Well, look, this Aura Eagle, because that's his name down there, and with the Auburn Tigers. Yes, that's the name of their eagle. He'll just fly you your money just like any other like messenger pigeon or anything. He'll just bring you your money this weekend. I think this will be a good one for you.
I'm going to go big. So I'm really banking on Auburn. I'm going to go with the $20 parlay because I want to beat you.
Okay.
I want to beat you.
All right.
So obviously I got the biggest odds. What do you have? You got the payout? What's the payout?
I do have the payout.
What are the odds?
The odds are 11.32.
Okay.
And your payout is 226 and 55 cents.
That's actually not as much as I thought. I thought that would be a little bit more.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Fair enough. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yep. And I'm stuck with the $15.
So with this, and just to preface,
yep,
we're both spending $25 on our parlay, so it's even. It's around even.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with the final 4 picks, what are the final 4?
Okay, the final 4. Nick, number 1, you get Junie Steelers plus 2.5.
All right.
Great
I'll
pick.
Take it.
Number 2 will be the Indianapolis Colts plus the 8.
No Richardson.
No Richardson. Gardner Minshew is in.
I'm trusting Gardner.
Okay.
I'm trusting him.
That mustache too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
At number 3, it's time to ride in Broncos country. The Broncos plus the 6.5.
Okay. Let's ride.
And at number 4, I know Junie's going to be really mad about this one.
Oh, I wanted this one. I know exactly what it is.
Oh, I know.
Colorado Buffs.
Let's do
plus
it.
21.5.
This is hands down the best parlay of the game.
Let's go.
This is hands down the best parlay of this game, and it's because he got all my picks.
Mm-hmm.
He got all of them.
All right. Now, do you have our odds and our winning total, my friend? Were you able to kind of put that together as quick as you could?
Yeah, I used a little quick math.
Hey, you got your intern back there tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah, we do. This game does go a lot smoother when Brandon is here.
Yes, it does.
I will say that.
Yes,
Brandon
it
in the
does.
bag. Intern Brandon.
Yes, intern Brandon.
Thin ice.
Thin ice. All right. For this parlay, Keezer, your odds are 12-19.
Oh, that's good odds for a 15.
And your winnings for this parlay specifically will be 182.85.
Straight cash, homie. I
All
like
right.
it.
So I do have
Let's go.
the totals for both of you.
Should be
Okay.
right under $300 for both of us.
Around there. Junie, your winning totals, should both parlays hit, would be 286.61.
Ooh.
And Keezer's totals would be 293.14.
You're
Okay,
lucky. You're
so I
lucky
was
you got my
close.
picks. You're lucky you got my.
This will
picks.
be a fun week for the two of us, personally, I think. But
This might
I
be-
wish you nothing but bad luck, like Derek Mason says.
This might be the week you finally get, because nobody won last week, and we didn't really recap last week, but nobody won. Nobody won. All the and again, I think last week I had a bad week
Atrocious.
at picking both college and NFL. It was a bad week for
Did
me.
not go well.
But week one, I did really good. I'm feeling a lot more confident about these picks that we got, except for your Falcons and Saints. I don't know. I don't know if this is some NFC South bias that you have going on, but I don't like it. I mean, listen, both of those teams are not going 3-0. I can promise. They're both on the road.
Look, I told you on
They're
Monday.
both on the road. They're not both winning. They're not both going to be 3-0. It's the worst division in football.
I told you on Monday that there were 7 teams in the NFC that are 2-0 to start the season for the first time in NFL history. Why don't you have faith? Come on now. Why don't you? Well, I think it would be so cool to see some of this prevail. You could see another record broken.
I have nothing. Well, they're playing. Well, I guess they are playing 1-1.
Yep.
NFC teams. So I mean, I guess that still could keep going. But I don't care about that.
Okay.
I don't care. I care about being right. I don't care about history. I'm not betting on history. I'm betting on being right.
It's a motivating factor.
And I see your bias. I see your bias. Either way, that has been this weekend's edition of Price That Parlay. Coming up next, we're going to put a bow on things. We're going to make our official Titans picks, Vandy picks, and UT picks for the weekend and what we think is going to go down in some Middle Tennessee football. Coming next, you're listening to Riddle and the Reporter wrapping things up here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Insightful discussion.
When we talk about the person that these players are.
3 goals scored in the first 5 minutes.
He wants to be the starter, day one. Mixed with spirited debate.
Okay, but Derek, let's put Mr. Derek.
They are Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. With Caroline Fenton, Willie Donick, and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason.
We got the whole thing covered. We got it all covered.
Here.
Weekdays at 11 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The two most sought-after, most prestigious names in bridal jewelry come together for one epic event this weekend at Genesis Diamonds.
Tacori and Viraggio, the world's premier designers, are showing off their entire collections. All the latest designs, many showcased for the first time ever, with up to $5,000 in savings.
Everyone loves Tacori, meticulously crafted by master artisans in their California design studio. Discover the hidden details and exceptional quality that sets Tacori apart. There's always more than meets the eye with Tacori. Come explore the entire Tacori collection, including all new Tacori fine jewelry, earrings, bracelets, eternity bands, pendants, and more.
If you're engagement ring shopping, this is a once-a-year event you can't miss. Other jewelers aren't even allowed to carry these iconic American-made brands.
Also for this event, Genesis is showcasing an expanded selection of GIA-certified diamonds in all shapes and sizes.
Come join us and take advantage of special incentives, zero interest financing, and as much as $5,000 in savings. This Friday through Sunday, only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Hey y'all, it's Courtney with Parmer Tractor and Equipment. Warmer months have you working overtime? Be sure to visit Parmer Tractor and Equipment for all your New Holland tractor and bush hog needs. Swing by our store at 3570 Dickerson Pike in North Nashville or give our sales team a call. We're now offering 0% financing for 72 months on select New Holland tractors. Get the brands you trust from a local dealer like Parman. Always ensuring totally outrageous customer service. Visit ParmanTractor.com for the best deals on equipment. New Holland tractor, bush hog, and more.
Blue Raider fans, your home for all the MTSU football and men's basketball action is on 93.3 Classic Hits and 95.1 Classic Hits in the borough. Catch the action all season long with Chip Walters on the call. Go Blue Raiders!
Nashville Sounds Baseball lives on 94.9 The Fan. Catch every pitch.
Swing and a miss, strike three.
Every hit.
That's a base hit.
Every run.
Looking up, it's gone.
On your home for Sounds Baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Hey, are you seeking relief? Maybe you just want to enhance your day or night. Did you know there are legal THC products available right here in Tennessee? Yeah, really. You can have legal THC products shipped directly to the comfort of your home. Yes, comfort in cannabis is only a website away. Visit greentreescompany.com. That's Green Trees with a Z, and change your life today.
You're listening to Riddle and the Reporter. The conversation is sparkling on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Final segment of Riddle and the Reporter. Junie Riddle, Nick Keyser, Connor Newt, finally with some good bump music. Some stuff I actually grew up with. I used to love this music.
This gives me straight memories of playing all the NHL games on Xbox growing up.
This kind of music was on every video game, like WWE, Madden, like all of it. Like Tony Hawk. I remember those games on the PlayStation 2.
What do you mean, finally? You didn't like Stone Cold? That was sick.
Stone Cold was pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I do like Stone Cold. But all right, before we wrap things up here, we did make our, we did do a bunch of picks for Price That Parlay, but, 2 games that are going on here in Middle Tennessee we did not discuss. So we are going to make our official picks for Vandy, Tennessee, and the Titans. So let's kick it off with Vanderbilt going up against Kentucky. Kickoff is at 11 a.m. here at First Bank Stadium on the west end of town. Kentucky is road favorites, minus 13.5. I will kick it off, and I am going to go with Kentucky. I like the 13.5. I think they win by more than 2 touchdowns. Like I said earlier, I like their defense. I don't like Vanderbilt's inability to make open field tackles, and I think Kentucky's just going to overwhelm them after getting upset in Kroger Field last year up in Lexington. Nick?
They have some vengeance in their blood for sure, and I'm wondering what the offense looks like, and I think the tempo of the game at the beginning is going to be a feel-out process. I think it's going to be like an awkward middle school date, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a weird game to start out.
Awkward middle school date?
Yeah. I totally think it will be. And really, I'm feeling Kentucky in this one too.
Okay.
And Vanderbilt, they're not as in high spirits right now. And I know that Clark Lee and his staff, they're trying to challenge a lot of their big playmakers. And Duricky Wright, he's trying to manage that ankle sprain. We'll see if he's able to go this weekend or how much he's going to play. So we will keep tabs on Vanderbilt this weekend. And I don't even really need to ask our producer, but Connor,
and do this without freaking out
and
on the
blasting our eardrums.
Please, what is your pick for Kentucky Vanderbilt?
Kentucky.
Yep.
Leary. Easy enough.
He likes Leary.
Easy enough.
Not really, but
All right, we're all on Kentucky. Moving over to UTSA, taking a visit to Knoxville at Neyland Stadium.
Without Frank Harris, by the way.
Frank Harris, I thought he was a game time decision last I saw.
He's game time, but I've not seen glowing reports on him.
Okay, so if he goes out and plays, I don't know. I think I might take UTSA to cover. Obviously not to win.
I was about to say.
But if Frank Harris is playing, that is going to make a difference in this game. If he is not playing for UTSA, I'm going to go with the Vols. And if you're telling me that he's leaning towards not playing, I'm going to go to the Vols. I think they win 49-24, something like that. I think UTSA puts up some points in this game, but I think Tennessee is going to want to blow them out of the water after what they did in Florida. Your pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the UTSA Roadrunners, they're going up a team that's ranked 23rd. They're 2-1 right now. Tennessee needs a boost. And so I am going to pick the Vols in this game. It's going to be a really fun one just because of the storyline looking at the Vols and can they make a bounce back and get back to their system and start executing it to the best of their ability. And so I have a lot of questions about their offensive line. They need a really good game to continue to change their season around because it's not been a glowing first 3 weeks for them. So we'll see how they do, but the ball is in their court. And if they can't hit a 3 here, I don't know what to tell you about this team anymore. They've just been stinking it up. Like I think they need a huge success in their system and on the scoreboard.
Okay, Connor, UT is 23.5-point favorites at home against UTSA. Where are you going?
I'm going to go Tennessee as well. I don't think they come out firing on all cylinders and just scoring at will, which has been kind of the case all season. However, I don't think they have as bad a game as they have, especially last week at Florida. I think Joe Milton will be all right. I expect him to throw at least one touchdown pass, and I really think the Neyland faithful will kind of fuel this team up.
I'm going to come out with a called shot here. I'm going to say that Tennessee scores on every single one of their drives in this game.
Whoa.
I'm that confident. Listen, UTSA has played in Conference USA against our Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. We have seen them play in a pair of Conference USA championships. And the one thing I know about this team is that they can put up a lot of points, but their defense is horrendous. And if there's any game for the Vols to have a really good day and to get back into things and get things into swing, it is this one. I think the Vols put up a lot of points, and I think even we might see some Nico getting in the mix as well. Okay, our final game, the big NFL game of the weekend here in Middle Tennessee. Titans at Browns. Browns are 3.5-point home favorites, and I'm going with the Titans. I think this is going to be the complete opposite of what I just said about Tennessee. I think this is going to be ugly. I think this is going to come down to who can run the ball better against these two stout run defenses. I think it's going to be a battle to see who can win the field position, who can control that. We're really going to need to see need to see the Titans play some good special teams in this game as well. Stonehouse, no more big returns. If you're going to boot it big and boot it out of bounds and flip the field. We need to see some more of that. I think the Titans win because the Browns don't have Nick Chubb, and they're going to try and rely on Watson, whereas the Titans are going to make the smart move and rely on the combination of Henry and Spears. And this is another one too. When I was watching the film on this game, the thing that really stuck out to me about the Steelers' run game against the Browns is Jaylen Warren looked a little bit better because he was more of their quicker back. Don't be surprised.
He is better.
If Tajay Spears has a pretty solid game in this game. I think he could break loose for one.
Okay, this could be his rookie breakout game. I think that's a good called shot, so kudos to you. I'll be keeping track. I actually have Tajay on one of my fantasy teams as a backup option, so I think he's going to be a stud at some point, but who's it going to be? So I guess we'll see. But in this matchup for me personally, look, this is a fun one, but I do think the Titans come out and they take this game. It's a 3.5-point spread. I feel confident with that. And if you're forcing Deshaun to throw the ball, and they don't have Nick Chubb, that's a factor for sure. Mm-hmm. If you're forcing him to throw it, I think he's going to be more prone to making a mistake. And I feel like the Titans, that D line is going to be hungry to get to the ball. That's like we've alluded to earlier. It's going to be the biggest difference maker in this game. And so getting to Deshaun Watson, 3 of his fumbles this year have been lost and turned over. The Titans have to get there. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Tier Tart or Jeffrey Simmons that get a couple of sacks in this game, and maybe they get a strip, and maybe they're able to get that ball and go down the field and go score if it's close. And so I think the defense will try to get every amount of pressure that they possibly can. Give me the Titans.
Okay, Connor, we've been all on the same page so far. Are you going to roll with the Titans?
No.
Really?
It's the Titans, man. Whatever you expect them to do, they're going to do the opposite. And I don't know, man. I feel like this Browns defense is pretty good, especially in the run or the stopping the run. Myles Garrett is lethal, but I am going to call a shot for the Titans. DeAndre Hopkins will catch a touchdown pass.
Okay.
How many yards is he going to get?
Not a lot.
I'm going to say...
It has to be a called shot.
I'm going to say he has 75 yards and a touchdown.
That's a called shot.
I would say that. Against this Browns defense, I would say that is a called shot.
Fair enough.
It's
okay.
like Tannehill's not going to have a lot of time to sit back there and pass. He's going to be under duress the whole game.
Okay.
When they do decide to drop back and pass. So,
fair enough.
We're all on the Cats against Vandy. We're all on UT to cover against UTSA. And Nick and I are with the Titans. And Connor is going with the Browns. That is all the time that we have today here on Riddle and the Reporter. Enjoy a great weekend of college and NFL football. We will be back next Friday at 6 p.m. following Stillman and Company from 8. And as always, enjoy the week. Have a good one, Nashville.